Centron, you hanging in there, young man? Well, you know what? You might have some ups and downs, but I applaud you and all of you that are working to help others. I respect that immensely, and that's your spiritual succor. And that there's anything more greater, I think, than the service to all of life is helping others get their health back and their growth spiritually. I think that's the ultimate rush in that because it bonds everybody to God. This question was about detoxing the kidney and lymph. The herbs used, well, you know, when I talk about herbal formulas, I made them into kidneys. There was a day where we had to put numbers on them because the FDA, and you couldn't put any literature that talked about kidneys near your kidney formulas in a health food store, and then you couldn't label the herbs kidneys. And I tell you what, now I'm of a suing kind of mind when it comes to the government because, there's a point where you've just got to stop and not let people run over you, including your government. They work for us. They don't own us. They don't control us. They work for us. And so I've changed my attitude on that. And when I see them being criminals, I'm going to hold them accountable because they work for us. And so now I put what the formula is for, but not diseases. I try not to get away from diseases. Medical doctors own that pretty much and let them have it. It traps you into a maze that you can't get out of. And I don't want to step on any medical doctor's toes. You want to treat diseases, treat diseases. But for the health people, health and treating diseases are not synonymous. Health and vitality is scientific. Health and vitality is right to the cell and the health of the cell, understanding the nature of the two sides of chemistry, understanding physics and consciousness and intelligence. Understanding all of this together makes a far greater healer than someone's out trying to chase rainbows and butterflies with toxic, deadly chemicals. We just got to get out of that kind of thinking. So you always, if you're going after lymph, there was only one or two companies years ago that I could even find made anything for the lymph. So I'm going, I got to have something for the lymph. So I made my formulas for me. I didn't make them to sell back then. I only started selling them when other physicians would say, hey, could I use them? And then I thought, well, that's a good, sure. I've always just been a little old practitioner stuck in Moose Jaw, Alaska, basically. Then I got to see the benefit and thinking, wow, and then I realized what the Supreme Being had brought me into. And so then I said, well, but you always use your kidney, your lymphatic formulas. Remember, the adrenals are sitting on top of the kidney for a very important reason, and of course they control the kidneys. So really work on those adrenal glands with that. Dosages for me in herbs has always been a dropperful. Richard Schultz has claimed 45 drops, and he was at 45 drops, probably the most aggressive user of herbs in most of the lands. I say, Richard, let's double that. And in some cases, I triple that. I'm not afraid to use herbs. I've used them for, all these years, and I use them by the gallons. I had this little 74-year-old lady. She only weighed 80 pounds. She had a mastectomy and radiation. Of course, and the radiation gave her aggressive lung cancer. Well, what else is new? That's as common as the sun coming up every morning, of course. And so she got aggressive lung cancer. Well, her husband called me. She was bedridden. So I put her all on raw and these herbs, of course, and there's bloodroot, poke root, there's these real strong toxic herbs, right? So I had her on these herbs. She finally died at 86. Let's see, 74 to 86, 12 years. Aggressive lung cancer, she did not die. I think I've talked about her before. She didn't die from lung cancer. I could never get it out of her, though. Most people, you can get it out. It just stood in her, but we were doing a CAT scan every 6 months. That's like a lot of radiation, so I suppose that was kind of blocking us from really getting that out of her. But boy, did she did well. Matter of fact, she got up out of bed. She was bedridden. She remodeled her kitchen at 82. She ended up putting her husband in a nursing home and then burying him. I mean, it was an incredible case. Now, here's a little 80-year-old lady that I had on massive herbs for 12 years. So when people think herbs are toxic, they have to rethink their thinking. Again, we don't isolate active alkaloids or principles in herbs. We don't isolate them, and I don't recommend isolating chemistry, period. That's a pharmaceutical thing. Squamous cell carcinoma, black salve in fruits, veggies. Yeah, I love the black salve. I mean, I don't say too much of it here online, but FDA doesn't like it. One lady made a comment that it took off her nose. Oh, let me tell you something. Black salve only pulls on cancerous cells, and if you're putting it on a big tumor, I could show you a big tumor we pulled one time, and it was this big. John Hopkins had to end up cutting it off, but it was this big. I wouldn't pull him anymore like that. But the lady did save her breast, but still, it was trauma big time. And like I said, she ended up at John Hopkins. So interesting thing. But if a black salve makes a big hole, I guarantee you that a surgeon will take off your face. Because if you have cancer that bad, you're going to have most of your face cut off. And that's the thing. Black salve is really helpful. If you can't get this tumor to move out of the body naturally through the kidneys, and it's aggressive, you want to pull it, or have a lumpectomy, or even have a mastectomy. But the use of chemo and radiation following that is insanity, and any physician that uses it should go to jail. I don't care what. There'd be only a few cases where you would use radiation to reduce a tumor while you're power packing the nutrition in there. So, and that would be cutting off the breathing in the esophagus or something like that. That's the only time you would use something like that. Other than that, you're just damaged tissue. Now they have the new 3D radiation. I remember a lady came in and did that, and she had cancer of the eye. And they said, we have this new 3D radiation. It'll go right down and pinpoint those cancer cells in the eye. She says, well, I don't want cancer in the brain. Oh, no, this'll pinpoint that cancer in that eye of yours, and that'll be it. Well, she said, okay, I trust you. So she came to me a year later full of brain cancer from it. So this is the sort of thing. Sometimes I don't trust everything the medical doctors say. No offense to medical doctors, but, you know, and I think they're lied to be honest with you. I think there's a lot of great medical doctors out there that have been brainwashed in their thinking. I know there's a good neurosurgeon. She's really exposing the truth of these CDC centers and how they've been hiding the real results of vaccines and stuff. And she's got a DVD and everything else. And I love medical doctors that'll stand up for truth. Stand up for truth. Join me. We'll show the world how you regenerate tissue and how you make people healthy again from the deepest of genetics to now. We have to. Let me see. What's our time? Oh, okay. Let's see. That's a question. Last fasting. Does water fasting eliminate mucus waste faster than fruits? Well, every time I've water fasted, I felt it more powerful than juice fasting, to be honest with you. However, I do when it comes to the lemon juice fast, that's up there. That's up there because you've got a lot of astringents there. You've got a lot of energy there. I think in a clinical setting, difficult to get your clients to do water fasting. Easier to get them to do just grapes or grape juice, much easier. So I think in that sort of way, but certainly get out there and try it on yourself. Do a 10-day water fast, and then do a 10-day lemon juice fast, and then do a 10-day grape fast, and see which one you like, and let me know. And let us all know how you came out of that. The secret of that, my friend, is digging deeper into your lymph system, and I can tell you what you're going to find. But report back to us. 10-day water, 10-day lemon, and then 10-day grape. And let's see what you come up with. Yeah. I've been wondering about that for a while. Well, you've been wondering, so you got to do it and let us know. We're all waiting for you. Okay. In your last videos, it looks like you lost some weight. Let me say that out loud. In your last videos, it looks like you lost some weight. I love you, man. Man, my life has been one big, huge stressor. So I'm getting better now. I've got good attorneys now, and I'm getting better. Now, it's how you change your attitude when you're going after criminals. I don't sit and let them come after me. I'm going after them. Oh, hello, Toronto. Let's see here. Canadian War Dog. Casey. It is possible to detox on a high raw vegan diet. You can't handle the blood sugar. When you're having blood sugar problems, there's no question that you need to eat smaller meals more often, even if it's high blood sugar problems. We know that for sure in hypoglycemia or low blood sugar, but it works well with high blood sugar as well. You eat smaller meals more often. If you have to do more vegetables for a while you're working on your adrenals and your pancreas, depending which blood sugar problems you have, I'd work on both of them maybe. And get your lymph system moving, and then move yourself higher into the fruit line. You can always use vegetables first to work yourself on. I will tell you, fruit sugar is the easiest to metabolize and the easiest to use, especially when you're not producing insulin, because fructose does not need insulin. You will glucose load, but at least meaning that you'll see higher blood glucose levels, but fructose will still be getting carbon to a cell, and that's what's key. No matter what your blood sugars are doing in the blood serum, it's key that you get carbon to a cell. That's essential, or you start losing cells, and then that's when you start to see the gangrenes, the neuropathies, and all this stuff. Added to the fact that your kidneys aren't working and you're not filtering your lymph, blah 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 blah. You've got colitis, which you're almost done with that. Remember, that's the lymph system in the colon wall. So now we're going back to the kidneys and the lymph system. You got your adrenals with your sugar here. Now you got your kidneys. You're not moving your lymph. You got fatigue. There's your adrenals. Acne, eczema, itchiness. Okay, there's your lymph system again. There's your fungus because of the adrenals. So you see, you're going back to your lymph system there, and you're just not your kidneys. You got to work on your kidneys, bro, and your adrenal glands. Yeah, you can have, coconuts, avocados. I love all that. Macadamia nuts, no. I think I addressed this before. I've got to check there, but still, remember, if you need to dig deeper, you've got to jump up into at least the lemons. That shouldn't affect your blood sugar too much. Grapefruit, maybe. See where you can go on that. Because there's going to be a point where you are going to plateau with the vegetables. If you add more nuts and higher oils, you'll plateau again. You'll reach a point where the body will not be detoxifying any deeper. It's almost like the frequency or vibration of these foods, and they're so heavier in the more concentrated, heavier chemistries, the more acidic chemistries, that the body just doesn't go any deeper. It just like stops it. And that's where you need to get a little more powerful magnetic food, a little more stronger astringent food, and that's where your fruits come in and help you to go deeper there. Meat causes acid putrefaction. Yeah, think that, JG. I tell you, you're right on. I love your thinking, bro. Good man. Water full of love. Yeah, I addressed that before. I feel for you, bro. I'll tell you what.